And we're back with another episode. We got the same boys, always the Bit Boys.
I'm glad we're the same boys this time. It was
Not the
weird when we
different
were
ones.
the different ones. Yeah.
We had a little break over Thanksgiving and Tyler moving.
Yeah.
Where are you at?
Oh, far away.
Canada?
Pretty much. As far away from Eric as we can get.
Oh,
Oh,
got me.
Got him.
About time. But yeah, so Thanksgiving break, some great food, and you know how it is with food. Just a lot of it.
what?
Wait,
Much as we
what?
can eat. Oh, as much as we can eat for Thanksgiving.
You know what I did for Thanksgiving? I went to Cracker Barrel.
They're open?
Yeah, they were. It was
Oh, okay.
really busy.
Actually-
Like,
No, I've been to Cracker Barrel like once ever, and my experience was it was for my birthday. And it was my girlfriend at the time. She took me there, and it wasn't even that good. But after we were done, I realized that my tire was flat, and I already drove like 30 minutes to meet her halfway to this random Cracker Barrel, and I had to like and I was missing my jack because Eric got a double flat tire, and I had to drive out in the middle of the night, give him my jack so he could jack up both sides of his car, or I mean one side extra high so he could change two tires, and he took my jack, and I was stranded without a jack, and that's my Cracker Barrel experience. Thank you. I don't like it that much.
I had a great time. Because we had just moved in, and all of our cooking stuff hadn't arrived yet, and we literally closed on the house the day before. So it was like, yeah, we're not gonna be able to do Thanksgiving dinner, so we went to Cracker Barrel. It was really busy. I like Cracker Barrel. So I mean, what's your problem?
I remember because missing jack, flat tire, and then like I was like, Eric, I need my jack, come give it to me. But you sent out someone else to help me
I
out.
could-
Well, it's probably because on the way there, you probably got another flat.
That year was horrible for you.
Oh my
Oh my
goodness.
gosh.
Yeah.
I had a total of 7 flat tires that whole year. That's almost 2 entire sets, man.
Dang.
Oof, man.
That the
That's a
tire
lot of
salesman
money
should
into
would have
tires.
loved you.
I
They
knew a
did.
guy at Discount
They
Tire.
did.
Like, they knew me by name. They're like, hey, Eric.
Hey Eric.
How many
like-
this time?
I'm like, hey, Jim.
That's his name?
You knew his name.
Jim Crowler,
Guess-
man. Cool
Uh,
guy
we're-
at Discount Tire.
I'm good for brunch on Saturday. Yeah. Bring a tire just in case.
Bring a tire.
But then what's funny is that every time I got a flat tire, I still have that same exact flat spare tire. I have the same one that has helped me with every single flat tire I've had.
You never had to like
I-
change that one?
Nope.
How'd you get the double
And it's
flat?
still durable. I used Xavier's tire, his spare tire. I got it from while driving. There was nails that were in the entering of a parking lot. So when I was turning into the parking lot, I hit the nails and I ended up hitting both my right tires. So, bye tires.
Yeah. You didn't just have my jack. You had my spare. You had all my stuff.
You
All
couldn't
of
even
it.
jack your car up. You couldn't even replace the tire with anything.
Nope.
It's like he could have replaced one, but he still had the second one to deal with.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you
Still
didn't
got
have like
nowhere.
roadside assistance that year or something, you know?
I need some AAA.
I don't think that
immediately.
would have helped. They would have been like, dude, stop calling it. It's like, your
Stop
policy
calling.
does not cover 7 flat tires.
This guy
You hit
is.
the limit.
Do you think there's limit? Do you think they'll be like, okay, your deductible just like increased?
That's just like, okay, look,
You're-
man.
You're almost twice the amount that the average man has on our.
Okay,
What
I
are
think
deals?
7 in 1 year is way over twice the
I
amount.
don't think I've ever
That's-
had 7 flat tires ever.
I-
Maybe
I
like
have-
2.
I've had, yeah,
One at Cracker
in my-
Barrel,
in
and
my-
maybe once some other time.
in my life.
It's
It's
just bad
so,
luck,
it
man.
just doesn't happen.
It's
very
just bad
rare.
luck. Anywho,
Hmm.
Thanksgiving was nice. Flat tires. Not
Yeah,
having
Eric
them
wants
as
to move on
often.
from this conversation.
And
He's done with it.
let's talk about the anime we're talking about today.
Well, okay. Well, yeah, we can't really get away from that. We're talking about Your Lie in April. It's that picture in Eric's background. It's a shonen action anime, and
Well, I mean, you're not wrong, are you?
there's a tournament arc.
There's a tournament arc.
As every shonen requires.
There's not a beach
What?
episode, so is it an anime?
I guess it's not. No,
If there's no beach episode, then what is it?
That is true. There
It
is no
is-
beach episode.
it's a cartoon, young adult cartoon.
Young adult cartoon
Yes,
from China.
Japan.
Oh,
There was that Chinese anime people said was good, and I never watched it.
there was a
Remember
Chinese. No. Was it a Taiwanese doll stop motion show? It was very weird. So they take
I
these
was
dolls.
very impressed.
You remember that, Eric? So
I
they take
remember.
these dolls. They're like maybe a foot tall, and it's stop motion, and then they just like animate all these like sparks. It was really interesting. It was on Crunchyroll. I gave the first episode a try. Anyways,
Huh.
I don't remember the name.
I've seen
Very intense.
like YouTube videos of things like that. Like there's this one where this guy's like remaking it. It's like this doll that's making himself, and then they have like a certain amount of time to live, and he's like, this whole purpose is to make another one, and then that thing becomes sentient and makes another one. Just a cycle. One day they make the thing.
Isn't that a story of us? Like
Yeah,
we're trying
it
to
kind of is.
die. Well, we're not trying to die. We're trying to make another us before we die.
Yeah, basically. I was thinking about that. So, like, our parents want their children to be better than them. And we grow up, and then the parents dedicate all their time to raising their kids so their kids can do something special. But then, aren't the kids just going to also raise kids to have the kids do something special? And at what point does the kid actually do something special instead of trying to raise somebody to do something special?
What if they don't make a kid?
That's the story of Naruto, basically. Minato gives his life to have Naruto have a successful life. Naruto has a successful life, tries to give it to Boruto, and Boruto just sucks.
Why do we always come back to Naruto?
Yeah, why do we always go back to
Naruto's a great. It's a great.
Naruto's life.
Naruto's life. I was gonna say it's a great middle ground to life, to everything. Everything just goes back to Naruto.
Basically, our entire existence revolves and is built off of Naruto.
There you go. That's
If-
what. No wonder it's so like you're able to.
I was
compare
raised by
yourself
Naruto.
to Naruto so well.
Yeah, that show is my dad.
That shows
There you
your
go.
dad.
Every
Well-
moral decision I make is based off of that
so
show.
you have two dads. Why don't you share one with me?
Ouch. That's
Real
Eric.
dad, you got Naruto.
Sorry, I shared that one with Eric.
Oof. He's there. That's also my dad.
Well,
Yeah.
mine is still getting milk and cigarettes. He'll be back.
Hasn't come back. Hasn't come back yet.
He's
We'll
getting
get
it
him one
straight
day.
from the cow, you know?
In no
Well, I'll
time.
get yeah.
Straight from the. He's got to raise the cow first.
See, he went to get some dairy. Started raising the cow first, and ended up becoming a meat rancher. So
Boom.
just kept.
It's been
Where
gone.
that goes.
He ended up with some steak and just kept getting steak.
Okay, we are far away from
Oh,
Your Lie in
we're
April.
You're lying.
Okay,
So you're lying, April.
give me
Yeah.
give me a little rundown, Eric.
It's a rundown.
A little
So
synopsis.
so my my experiences with anime in general, Your Lie in April is very different from what I normally watch in anime. So when I started watching it, my idea of the
This is
series
not a
was very
synopsis.
different. So basically, the synopsis of Your Lie in April is there's this guy, Arima, and he has a musical talent. He's able to play the piano. He's really, really good at it. Problem is, his mother kind of forced it upon him to be good at playing the piano. So he really hated playing the piano. But he played it for his mom, because she wanted him to do it. And then eventually his mother died. And ever since then, during a live performance, he lost the ability to play the piano, and he's never been able to touch it ever since. And so he's a very cheerful guy though, and he has friends. Just tries to be positive with them, but deep down he's just upset. And then he runs into this girl who can play the violin, and basically just by talking to her and becoming friends with her, just listening to her play the violin more than anything, his musical talent kind of comes back in being able to play the piano. More than just all that, there's a lot of. It's in high school, so obviously there's going to be love triangles.
Junior high?
Is it junior high? It is junior
middle
high.
school.
You're right.
Yeah, it's
middle.
They're like second years and then third years. I don't know how Japanese school works, but that's how I'm going to describe it.
But
so
it's
I'd
not
imagine
high school.
I'd imagine they're in like I don't know how high
Last
school
few
works in
years
Japan.
of junior high, I guess.
Maybe like
I'd imagine
our
they're-
7th and 8th grade.
They're 14 and like 15, I think, and so I think it's around 8th and 9th grade,
Oh, yeah, that makes
So yeah, that's the transition.
or
for us,
or
at least.
9th and 10th. I think something like that. So
Anyway, so middle school.
find out.
So of course there's a lot of love triangles. This girl likes this guy. He doesn't like her back. This other guy likes her, and those two guys are friends. Stuff like that. It's normally how relations kind of go around school. So basically, all that kind of goes around. And anyway, yeah, that's the synopsis of the story. But of course, it is a very, very heavy anime. Very in the sense of
it's a
it
shonen
can get
action.
you emotion. It can
It's
get
a
you
shonen
emotional.
action.
It's
It's
not
very-
shonen am.
Boom.
Yes, it
Oh my
is.
gosh.
You can find it weekly on Shonen Jump, man.
Yeah, so
So-
it can get you pretty emotional. It is a pretty heartfelt anime.
It was
it's very
pretty
heartfelt.
hard getting you to watch it. For a year, I've been
I
like,
know.
Eric, watch Your Lie in April.
So this is the show after you watch. So if you're into shonen, you watch Naruto and
My Hero.
that Naruto, My Hero, whatever shonens there are, and then you
Ball.
watch, and then to get into other stuff, and then we introduce you to Darling in the Franxx, and you're like, oh, this is cool. This is like a shonen. There's cool fights, but then there's also the slice of life, and then we hit you with Your Lie in April, which is actually a slice of life. Which is it's a shonen disguised as a slice of life.
Very well disguised, if I may say.
Extremely well. You'd be very hard pressed to pick out the difference
Right?
between the other sides of lights and this one. It's a fantastic show. I love it. It's great.
After I finished the show the first time, like my playlist just like filled up with like classical music.
Oh yeah, it's fantastic. So I'm gonna say spoilers just right now. If you, I mean, there's not much to actually spoil with the show. Honestly, you can see the twist coming from episode 1. But
Yeah.
spoilers in general, we're gonna say that now. If you don't want spoilers to Your Lie in April, just stop watching. And
And come back later when you watch it.
okay, stop watching this.
you care.
Go watch Your Lie in April and come back.
Boom, 22 episodes
You will-
straight, and then come back here.
You will not regret it at all. Even if you don't like anime, I don't know why you're watching this if you don't like
It's on
anime.
Netflix, so like
Yeah.
The dub is on Netflix. The dub is on Netflix.
the
and
dub
that's a
is
good dub.
actually really good.
The dub is really good.
Very impressive, yeah. I'm
Yeah.
impressed with the dub. Not every anime can pull that off.
Yeah.
I,
So
I
they
honestly
really-
haven't even seen the sub version. I've only seen the dub twice.
I think I watched the sub because I didn't know there was a dub on Netflix. I don't know. But I do
Pretty
remember
good though.
watching
I
the
mean, if
sub.
it could get you, if you have the feels while watching dubbed, then it's doing pretty well. So
Yeah. So one of the things that I like about the show is it's very charming in the way that it follows anime tropes. So there are quote unquote fight scenes in this show in which people are playing the piano
Shonen
against each
action.
other. It's shonen action. They're not like there's only actually one episode where they're actually playing at the same time. Well, 2 technically. But like they'll be fighting against each other in this piano competition as they'll be competing at separate times. But the way they describe they have the same people that'll show up. Oh man, that note they just played is amazing. I don't know how the next time's gonna
This
follow
kid,
this one.
he knew exactly what to do.
Yeah, this kid, They know exactly what note to play, what time. Oh my goodness! Or they'll say, "Oh man, I can tell that he's just not going so well.
This guy's
His
off
life must be
key."
going. He's off key." Oh, just every single time they. That's great though. It works really well in Your Lie in April because you wouldn't expect someone who's into anime to be super into classical music, and so you don't really understand how the nuances of these like songs and playing the piano because I don't understand it at all. So when they play them, they all sound the same to me because I'm tone deaf. I would say, I think.
To the untrained eye,
To
or
the
an eye,
untrained
ear.
The untrained ear. Yeah, they all sound the same, and so having these people explain what's happening is pretty cool. It helps you understand as you watch. You're like, I get it.
Try to
So-
get a little bit more understanding of the.
But what I
going on.
realized is that it spends 21 episodes training you to interpret and understand how the music works for the last episode when Koze plays his final piece and nobody says anything, but you get it. And you have the commentary on your own. You're like, oh, Koze, look at the feeling he has. Look at the feeling he's putting into the keys. I can hear his soul through
Honestly,
the
yeah.
music.
You could totally feel it. You even get chills. And
Yeah,
you're just
yes.
the emotions start running up, and you're just like, wow, this music is carrying me. Like, it's crazy.
It's because they've spent 21 episodes training you, teaching you how to understand it, so that when it comes out through there, it punches you in the gut, and you're the one commenting on it instead.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I like that. That last piece was amazing, and I totally agree with you. Like I said, I'm usually not into these kind of animes, but it really just comes down to listening and just kind of watching. I watched for the story, and by like episode 6 or 7, I finally actually got really caught. I was like, all right, now I'm starting to binge these episodes without even thinking about it because I'm just getting so carried away into these characters and the story plot is just so good.
As I was watching it again for the second time, the first time I didn't get the whole big reveal, but the second time I saw every single little clue. I'm just like, wait, they were telling me from the beginning? I'm like, oh no. And I just was too like, I don't know, like naive to like really see it. I didn't want to see it. I'm like, nah, it's not gonna happen. And,
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah.
So when I first watched it, I knew what was going to happen, but like I said, you want to not believe it. I think from the very beginning, the show is very obvious about it, but it's also trying to make you believe that it's not going to happen. And that's the viewer follows the same emotional arc that Koze does as the show goes on, where he realizes it, but he doesn't believe it. He doesn't want to believe it either. And so the viewer's the same way. You're like, I don't want this to actually happen. And he doesn't want it to happen. So
Right.
it's really, it's great.
I think there's a lot of animes that make the viewer kind of feel safe with the story, almost like this will have a great ending. This ending will be good. Everyone will be happy, and happily ever after kind of moment. People like those kind of stories. They want those kind of stories, and main characters, we want them to have that. And so we kind of get into the denial of there's no way this is going to end poorly. There's no way that this will happen.
Well, I would
And
say
then
it's
when
a
it does
bittersweet. Yeah.
It is a happy ending. It's
It is,
tragic,
but
it's not bad. I don't think it's a very tragic is the right word for it.
yeah, it's tragic.
But I would
mean,
still say it's a happy ending.
but it's
but
not something that
in-
we want, though.
Yes,
You know what I
Uh,
mean?
yes, that's
Like, you want this kind of ending.
I'm just
But
going to say
that's-
it. She dies. The girl dies.
yeah.
Yeah.
Boom, there you go.
Meets
So
Kaori, and she's the violinist, and he's the accompanist to her violin. They make a great duet together.
Didn't they
They're
only
really
play
good.
once?
They played one time.
And they were
I don't
trying.
know if you've ever
They were
heard of-
trying to play again,
Yes,
but every
they
time
tried
they
to play
tried,
again.
something got in the way. Some medical thing got in the way for her. Like she
Mm-hmm.
was not able to because she collapsed or had to go to the hospital. And so yeah, they only
were-
play once, and they've been trying to play again together for like the whole show.
Mm-hmm. They
just
play
never
together
happens.
in practice. The viewer doesn't ever see it, but they do mention they spent months practicing together. So they've spent a lot of time together doing things just off screen.
Right.
So the show spends most of its time focusing on the issues that they have instead of their like good times, I guess, or their
Like actual practices.
yeah, because that's not important really. It's a very tight anime. It's very tight in its storytelling.
Doesn't it
There's-
span like 1 year? It starts in April and then it goes into summer, fall, winter,
Yep, it does.
Back into April.
Yeah,
back into spring.
I think they know each other from April to December, so it's about 9 months they're together. They're friends.
Yeah. Like I really like her as a character. Like she's very I don't know. She's just well written. She's like bouncy and she's very alive, really. You know, but like it's just at the same time she knows she's dying, or at least has this really bad illness, and that things aren't looking good for her. But she doesn't like waste any time. She's like always living life to the fullest, and it's like I don't know that in itself kind of like speaks to me. It's like am I doing that? Like I'm not gonna die anytime soon. At least I hope not. Heaven forbid. But like am I living life to like the fullest? It makes you think.
She says that too at the end. She writes this before she dies. She writes this letter to Koze, and then her parents give it to him after she passes. And then Koze is reading it at the end of the final scene. Is Koze reading this letter as she reveals all of these feelings and things she had done to get in touch with Koze and whatever. And she mentions to him, she said, "I was living life to the rules, and when I realized that I didn't have much time left, I had to do something about it." And that's when she decided she wanted to meet Koze Arima and do all this stuff and start living life the way she wanted. She wanted to play the music the way she wanted to play it. She wanted to do all these things because she was like, I don't have time to waste following these rules that I've set for myself or that the world set for me. I want to live life the way that makes me happy. It's
Right.
nice.
It's
And you can
great.
tell she lives that way.
So I was thinking about when I finished the series. Sometimes when I finish a series, I try to think of the reasoning of the title for the anime. And some seem like they don't make any sense to me, and some obviously make sense. Like Naruto, that makes sense. Bleach, that doesn't make any sense. Honestly, I know why it's called Bleach, but it doesn't make sense.
And then in another
and
world
then-
with my mom and her two twin.
I thought you were gonna say her
whatever.
two big donkedunks.
I mean, that might as well be.
well,
the
that's
title of
obviously,
it.
but yeah, that might as well be. But then you have all these series, but then there's Your Lie in April, and I was thinking about it of why it's called that, and I even looked on like why other people think that's what it's called, and it usually comes down to two different discussions on why it's called Your Lie in April, and I don't know if you guys have any ideas of why.
I'll
she
tell you
says
what
it
I
in the end.
'Cause I
She
have
does
but-
say. She says
Yeah,
it
but a lot of
specifically.
Yeah,
Well, I
There's
guess as
two-
a
there's-
title, it doesn't make sense.
I
but-
think that yeah,
There's
I
two
come down to
lies.
two of them.
She tells two lies.
Mhm.
And when I first watched it, I thought the lie was she was telling people she wasn't sick, and that was her lie. That's what I thought at first, and then I didn't catch this in the second time until the second time I watched it. Is where she says the lie she tells is I like Watari.
Watari.
Yep.
That's the lie in April.
Mhm.
That's what the title's referring to, I believe. But I think you can also say it's also referring to her lie that she's not actually sick. I think
Right.
that's you can argue that, and I think
Mhm.
that's valid. But I think it's actually referring to
The love interest that
yes,
she said she liked Watari, but it was actually
as yeah,
yeah.
because at the end it's revealed that Kaori has had a crush on Koze since she was 5 years old, and that he was the reason that she got into music
in
and
the first place.
in the first place. And she's always, when she found out she was sick, she's been wanting to meet up with him and become friends with him. But in the way was his other friends, Watari and Tsubaki. Tsubaki is Koze's best friend growing up, like a sister. They're not
Next door
brother and sister.
neighbor.
Next door neighbor. They're
How
boy and girl.
That's how he feels about her, but
Yes.
she doesn't feel that way towards
Yes.
him.
And so, yeah, Tsubaki is in love with Koze. Kaori sees that and doesn't want to intrude on it. But when she decides that she's going to live the way she wants to live, she tells Tsubaki that she likes Watsuri, which is Koze's best friend, and lies about it. And so that's the lie.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that it makes total sense, and they even say it.
Yeah.
And so I agree with that. That's the lie. That's
Well-
the lie in April. But then there's all the. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, like, if you were gonna name this anime, what would you name it as?
It's really hard to think of an actual name.
In
I
another
would name it-
world with my piano and a girl on the violin.
I would name it. Every time I touch the piano, someone dies.
Oh,
Okay, that sounds very
Oh.
depressing, but
The piano of death.
the
Oof.
piano,
I would name it.
Death Piano.
If it was a light novel, it would be called something like "The Girl I Am in Love With Is in Love with My Best Friend." That
That sounds like everyday life.
that does sound like everyday life. But that's what it would be
Man.
called.
I
But it's
guess.
not.
So,
It's- I
If
like
it was
the
a
title.
shonen,
I
If it was
saved.
a shonen, it would be called. I don't know.
it'd be
Something
called
weird.
Kosei. It's the main name, the guy's name. I don't know.
I saved a quote that Kaori said about musicians
Mhm.
in this show, and I saw that someone pointed this out as a lie that she says that they think that they could consider this part of one of the lies or whatever in the series, and it says let's see. Oh, we're all just faking it. We're all just faking it. Some of us are better than others. But you put your music on the stand and play anyhow because that's the way that you tell the most beautiful lie of them all.
Oh yeah.
So when she starts talking about, everyone's just faking it, and when you play music, you're just faking and lying about everything
I think I remember
everything
that
about
scene.
your life, But in reality, you're playing the music to be beautiful and all this kind of stuff. But in reality, that's not really how you're feeling, in the back. You feel different, So
It's a
some
good
people
title.
think that that's a good idea. So maybe, so I think there's just a lot of layers that you could put
There
into the
yes.
title of this anime. So there was much more thought put into this.
See, the title is a good title because most other shows we wouldn't even spend more than 2 seconds on the title, like Darling in the Franxx. That's very obvious.
Very obvious.
Darling.
When we put this to-
Darling.
Darling.
That's the first
Franxx.
episode. Pull in the Franks. Naruto, My Hero Academia. Kids going to school for hero stuff. It's very on the nose.
Boom.
This one's, yeah, I like it.
It's
There's
good
a, there's
and
a,
it's
it's a
unique.
good title.
Makes
We
you
wouldn't give
think.
other titles a second thought. It does make you think.
No.
Why is Konosuba named Konosuba?
It's like God's blessing on this world.
That
Is it?
means that.
Konosuba is it's a shortened title. That's got a lot longer. Let me look at the whole thing. It's huge.
No, so
That's
like a
interesting.
light
I
novel
didn't even think
phrase
about that.
title. or whatever?
Konosuba, God's blessing on this wonderful world.
What if people
That's-
called it, refer to that show as that?
It's
God's blessing.
Konosuba Rashi Sekai ni Shukufuku o. A blessing to this
Oh,
wonderful
so
world.
they
Something like that.
they take parts of the Japanese words and make it into a new word?
Yeah, so Konosuba
Oh.
is the English name, the whole, I think, and the whole name, because it's a light novel, so it has a very long, stupid name. Instead of like something that makes sense. So Konosuba is a shortened version, but the whole thing is Konosuba Rashi
The more you
Sekai
know.
ni Shukufuku. Yeah. Oh.
That's long and obnoxious.
Oh.
It is very long and obnoxious.
Yes.
But yeah, so light novels are very, it's like the first line of the thing. They just don't,
The
it's
meaning
like
that
it's-
They're
Good.
hooks. They
No,
instead
no.
of hooking you in the first page, they hook you in the title.
This is what they do. They start writing in a Word document, and when they click save, you know how Word will just save automatically just the title, whatever the first
Yes.
line is? That's what a light novel title is. It's whatever it saves, that's them automatically.
or they just don't know exactly what to name it yet. They're just like, oh crap, I need a name for this. This
What's
is
the first line?
what's the name of the main character? Okay, there we go.
Yeah, there you go. There you go. No more than meaning. I mean, not many things need more meaning in the title. The title's not super important for a lot of things. I mean, for this one, it makes sense. I think they put a lot of thought into it.
And it's a well thought anime, you know. So it's not
Yeah.
something super basic like most. So
Okay, what do you think about Tsubaki?
mm.
What are
So
your
okay. So
hot takes?
it's not. I don't have anything like towards her personally, but the whole trope of the best friend character, I always align with that person. Whether it's Ichigo, Tsubaki, whether it's any other childhood friend character, I always like root for that person, and you always know they're never gonna end up with the person they like,
usually
whether it's the
don't
main
win.
character. They never
Basically,
win,
they never win.
but
She kind of does in this though.
by
I mean, if
by
death
default,
intrudes-
by default,
yes, by
But-
default. But I mean, because when she realized that Coyote's gonna die, like she's what's left for Koze. I mean, Koze's got other options because
Yeah.
for some reason this is a harem anime too. This is a harem. Harem. Pronounce
Harem.
things.
hot 'em.
It's just the harem. It's just a
Haram.
harem anime.
Harambe
This is-
anime. It's
Okay,
a
let's move
Harambe
on from
anime.
Okay, we can go. Boom.
This is a harem anime too, because for some reason every single woman's head over heels for Koze.
Which is weird.
Um,
He's not even like that
just a-
attractive as in his personality. He's always gloom and doom. But anyways, back to your
Not to
question.
mention he looks.
Yeah,
kind
back
of
to
nerdy.
Tsubaki.
I think I always align myself with the childhood friend because in my life that's what I rooted for. I'm like, yeah, childhood friend. But I don't know. I feel like in this case, like he could have passed. Like she's cool, but you found the person that really got you out of your slump. She didn't really do anything. She tried to comfort him and tried to help him, but she never helped him overcome his problems, unlike Cowdy did. She's the one who kind of dug him out without him realizing it, and shoved him into like life and like made him like face his fears and whatnot.
But I think Tsubaki realizes that because, I mean, how could she have done that without music? But she's not a musician, and so she
like-
really couldn't do that herself. And I
She
think
didn't
that's
have the
part
tools to help. you
Yeah, I
know?
think that's
Like,
part of her pain is that she knows she's not the one that Koze needs.
She's incapable.
But yet she still loves with him. Yeah, and I think that's really cool about Tsubaki is when I first watch it, I kind of didn't like her very much. I like her a lot better now. Just watching it again and really paying attention to her sections, her focus episodes, and she's got a lot of pain on her shoulders because she feels kind of responsible for Koze and keeping him, propped up,
positive.
and she fails at that, or she feels like she fails at it. And it was not till towards the end when she realizes that she's failing at it and that she does love him and that she needs to step up. And that's when she starts studying a lot more so she can go to the school at the same place as him, in the same area at least. And
At least she said it.
yeah, and she's trying, but it's hard for her because she feels like music is this barrier she can't get past. It's something that she'll never be able to connect to Koze with because, and could you imagine being Tsubaki, your best friend who you're in love with falls in love with another girl and then that girl dies? And how do you, I mean, I don't know if they could even be together at any point because of that, because Tsubaki's always going to know, well, he doesn't love me because his love is dead.
Yeah.
So
How do you
how does she
overcome that?
how does she even overcome that?
I don't
But
know.
that's just, it's rough
Tragic.
for her. Yeah.
it's
She's,
tough.
And
Yeah,
they
it's tough.
introduced a character to make things even more complicated. Her ex, captain that graduated, or whatever, softball, baseball captain that she had a crush on.
yeah.
And they explored that. They're like, I don't even know, but they're like, hey, I liked you when we were, on the same team because you were like a straight A student. You're like super athletic. You're charming. You're all these great things. But now that we've spent some time apart and I got to spend more time with Kosei, I realized I like him and not picture perfect Mr. Wonderful over here. you know, and that kind of does say a lot because, like, you know, Kosei, he's got a bunch of baggage, but she still, you know, cares for him and still likes him, you know. So I guess she's a good girl.
Yeah, I can't really be mad at her. Most of the time, I don't like the girl that's like, because for example, I watch the series, and I see the main character, and I see his love interest, and I'm just like, if he really likes her, then I approve of this relationship. But then when I see the third wheel trying to come in here, I'm just like, no, you stay out. We don't want three wheels. This is a bicycle, not a tricycle. Get out of here.
Eric's got
But-
some
but-
pent up.
But
Rage.
Tsubaki, I didn't really have anything. Yeah, I didn't really dislike her at all. I was actually I was kind of okay with her. And even after she admitted that she liked him, he didn't really have a response. And then so she just kicked him really hard. But like I didn't have a problem with it, honestly. So I don't have any ill will towards Tsubaki. I think she's a cool character.
It's kind of like with the whole Hero Ichigo and like 02 thingy majingy.
Classic.
02 does pull him out, Heroes out of his slump and all that, and like kind of enables him. Where Ichigo, she's always been trying to, but she wasn't able to. And then, but like, you know, a lot of the community rejected her, where we're not really rejecting Tsubaki, you know. We're
That's
just
because
kinda have that-
Tsubaki never doesn't really hate. There's no interaction between Kaori and Tsubaki that makes Tsubaki push Kaori away. She's always
No,
accepting.
Yeah,
of,
that makes sense.
she never tries to get in the way of
Not
those
to
two.
mention that there's a best friend trying to take Tsubaki. You know,
Oh, can we?
like Goro?
yeah,
you know,
a
we don't want-
Watcherty
We don't want a moment
bro
like
of
that.
the century. Yeah,
It's always a bro.
yeah. Watcherty is bro of the century, and that's for dang sure. That guy's. I mean, he's kind of a dimwit, but
He was
he's
what's
a
it
good
called?
guy.
I like dimwits.
He was playing along because you know he was like flirting with Cowdy, but you know
I think
he
he was
knew
in on
knew
it.
that
He knew.
they liked each other, and he didn't want to like you know impede on that, but you know he was still doing his own thing, but you know he's like go for it, man. Like you know I always knew from the beginning.
Yeah. It's a touching moment when Koze pulls Watcher to the side. They're going to the hospital to see Cowdy, and he
Mhm.
pulls him into the stairwell, and he's like, Watcher, I'm in love with Cowdy, and Watcher's like, dude, I know, I've always known, and you need to go. Like I've been trying to get this, you know, to get out of your way. You gotta go step up, be a man.
Right.
Right?
He doesn't say that exactly, but I mean he pushes
Little
Koze
paraphrase.
into it. Yeah. He pushes Koze into it.
And then she goes to the ICU.
Yes.
And then
in
you're
that
like-
same moment,
'cause-
and he never gets to.
That's the first time that Kosei realizes his feelings for her, and then he announces them to him, and then the next scene, her condition gets worse, and you're like, oh crap, you don't know.
Yep.
Like you don't want to accept it.
And it's
But
just
it's happening.
as yes, you don't want to accept it, and it's also just as Koze is really comfortable playing piano now, and he can hear the notes again, and he can play it, and he's preparing for this really big competition. And he's like, I'm going to play, and I'm going to do really well. And it's just as his life is like blossoming, and that's when she goes to the ICU, and that's when everything starts to go bad for Koze, and then he goes into a slump again. Poor guy.
Can't really blame him.
His first slump,
No.
though, like, what'd you guys think about the mom? Because she was always very strict, pushy against him.
She's
Like,
Abusive.
That was a
Yeah.
horrible mother.
She punched him, made him bleed.
Like, I
but
don't
after
care
the
if
reveal
she
of her
had-
intentions, like, what did you think of her then? Like, they put her in a better light.
They did. They
Did
put her in
your
a better light.
feelings change
I don't-
about her?
I still don't like her because it's never okay to abuse kids, no matter what your intentions are. And so that's just. And I understand Koze's feelings too, because I mean that's his mom, and so he's. If you think about your mom, even a lot of people they don't want to hate their mom, and even if their mother is abusive, they don't want to hate her because that's your mom, right? It's
Yeah.
everybody's got solemn feelings about their mother,
Mhm.
and so Koze doesn't want to hate her, and he doesn't blame his mom for it. But I mean, she's still bad and abusive, and so I can't forgive her for that. But I understand where she's coming from. I kind of do, but I mean, it's just you shouldn't hit your kid, no matter what.
I
Shouldn't make 'em
can't.
bleed.
I can't support that kind of parent.
Yeah, because
Not
part
really.
of the reason Kose has these problems is because of her abuse. If she wasn't abusive to him, he would have still been able to play piano after she died.
Where was the dad the whole time? Like, is he
He's
out
on
getting
some-
cigarettes too? Like,
No,
what the
Jap-
freak, man?
Japanese dads are always on business trips.
they're on business in the Americas.
They're in business across the sea.
Who knows where they are? They don't exist. They're always on business.
Like, okay, the guy, he's getting abused by his mom, and then after she dies, he's still not around when he needs him the most. I'm like, where's his dad? Like, insert dad, and this whole show gets resolved, you know?
yeah, and the
I'm trying
dad
to
would
hear
help
a
a
big
lot.
Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood story coming up right now. Just
Oh my goodness.
mom dies and dad's not there to see it.
No, it's because he doesn't care that his dad's not there. Oh, his dad. I think they are. They don't really. The dad's not important to the story because I think it's implied that Kose and his father have a good relationship.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
there's really no reason for them
Kose
to
lives
be
in this
involved.
2-story house in the suburbs, and
By
no one ever
himself.
by himself. And like
He's 14.
the bills are always paid. There's always
Yeah.
food. You know, he's got like a grand piano or whatever, and it's like dad's on business trip. You know, that's what dads do.
That's what dads do. That's what teenagers live by themselves, and dads are on trips. That's just how it goes.
He's
Try to pay
selling
for everything.
cows to Americans.
But yeah, if the dad is there, I think it does change the story a lot. I think it changes who. I think you don't. If the dad's there, you don't need the mentor to come back, who is the friend of the mom. I don't think she's needed because she kind of takes the place of a parental figure for Kose at that point, or
Yeah.
at least a mother figure, a maternal figure, and so she kind of becomes Kose's mom at that point.
Yeah.
So-
Yeah,
But yeah.
I feel like a lot of main characters, they always have dead parents, and if one of them is alive, they're gone for some stupid reason.
I think that's just a lot. Parents have a big effect on the main character because most main characters in series are kids or teens or very young adults. You know,
In anime,
So
at
if they
least.
want in
Content we
anime,
watch,
in
yeah.
anime, yeah. So when they're trying to get into that character, you know, it's like who's their figure, you know, their idol or whatever it be Deku
Yes.
to All Might
Their
and all
role
that kind of
model.
stuff. Their role model. You know,
Where's
and all their
Deku's
role
dad?
models.
Where's Deku's dad?
But when parents get in the way of
It's All Might.
parents can get in the way of the light, you know, it's like they either have to be they have to be important to the story if they are relatively there, or they just have to be cast out of the whole story entirely. And most of the time, killing them off is the best way to do it. And then so
Well,
you make it a sadder
it's-
story or whatever.
it's
Or
an-
there's just one of them, like Deck
It's
in
an-
My Hero.
Yeah.
Stuff like
It's
that,
an-
you know.
Involving the parents is an easy way to invoke connection between the viewer reader to a character because everybody has parents.
Hmm.
Every single person, whether they're around or not, has parents.
Hmm.
And if they're not around, it's easy to connect to someone who doesn't have parents. And if they are around, it's still easy to connect to someone who has parents because you can imagine what it's like to not have them.
Hmm.
Or when they're not around. And it's also easy to connect to somebody who has bad parents because a lot of people have bad parents because people suck in general. And so
Turns
It's-
out.
it's a universal rule that everybody has parents, and so it's a instant like, oh, this person has parental problems. Oh, I'm in. Whether you are saying that in general, like actually saying, or just it's like a
Right. It's just
Intrinsic
something
thing.
in your mind that you can
yeah,
get it.
just connect to immediately.
Hmm.
So
But yeah,
That's my
a lot
thought
of
on
series have parental problems. You know,
yeah,
they're either not there or they're just on a business trip or they're dead.
For business trip.
dads are not involved a lot.
Most of the
in
time, it's
Japanese
dads that are
anime.
gone, and the mom is left with the kid.
Yeah,
But Deku's mom is always there. She just has no abilities or anything. You know, so that's why
No,
she's
no,
not.
she can She has like some telekinesis thing. She can like lift small objects to her. Like
She can very small objects to herself. That's it. That's what she can do.
Very small.
The dad is involved in Domestic Girlfriend. Because the story is centered around, like Eric was saying, it's only important if the story is centered around what the parent is doing.
yeah.
Because the story is centered around the dad
decision
marrying.
of his dad. Boom, we got
Yes.
plot.
Well,
So
then
the
you
dad
have
is
like,
around.
but then you also have like Naruto, where he has no parents, but he does have parents. They're
dead.
actually important, but they're dead, and you
Yes.
see them later. You know, kind of deal.
And then
Ichigo has only his dad in Bleach. One
Um,
Piece has only his dad.
yeah, Bunny Girl Senpai. There's the dad.
Aren't they on? And mom. Oh, well, they
The
separated,
mom and
right?
dad. No, the mom and dad are together, but they kick the kids out. Or no,
They're horrible parents.
they are. The main character takes the daughter away from them, takes his little sister away from them because they can't handle.
They're
Taking
bad
care
at
of
being
her
parents,
after.
and he said I
They're
could be a
bad at
better
being
parent.
parents.
Give
Yes,
me my,
that's exactly what
fund
happens.
me taking care of my sister. You guys out of here.
There's a
Sometimes
show.
it be
Is
like
it?
that.
Is it?
Code Lyoko. They're in a boarding
No.
No.
school.
Quintessential quintuplets. It's the dad instead of the mom. It's the dad and the daughter.
Darling
And
in
he's
the
like
Franks.
he's like a hippie guy with no money.
And the other side, the quintuplets, it's the dad.
No mom.
with
There's
no
nobody.
mom.
There's no
It's-
mom or dad.
Once, you can't write two parental figures because then it just complicates things.
It does.
You're like, oh,
I like
crap.
Domestic Girlfriend.
Domestic girlfriend. We should do an episode
Complicates
on that
things.
stuff, like
Just parents.
Oh gosh.
on that genre of shows.
Oh
Yeah.
man. Would that include? So that would be Domestic Girlfriend. Would it include Scum's Wish?
Scum's Wish,
Bunny Girl
Citrus.
Senpai. No,
Yeah.
Citrus.
maybe. I don't
Bunny
know.
Girl Senpai. Not really. No, that's a different kind of show. Those are weird shows. Anyway, what we're talking about? Your Lie in April. Was that the topic?
Oh, we're still on it. We're kind of
Bad
out of
mother.
time too.
Bad mother.
Okay. Well, Your Lie in April is a great show. Everybody should watch it.
Highly
it really,
recommend it.
yes, it really encapsulates like young love in a very pure and
Solid.
emotional way. Yeah, it's great. If you were a teenager and you had a crush on somebody, this will
You'll
it'll punch you in the
understand it.
gut.
If
yeah,
you-
you will.
Watch the last episode with a dry eye. You have no soul.
Yeah. what was that, Eric? How I heard that you had a drop.
I cried twice in that anime.
Got
I
it.
usually don't get emotional in animes, but I cried twice in that anime. And
What moments did you cry?
the first time that I saw
Hospital rooftop.
Coyote,
Boom.
yeah, that
That's
I
one.
saw the reaction from her. I got pretty emotional because I started really liking her, And then at the last episode, when he's finishing his piece, that really got me. Yeah,
I
music
am-
is power, man.
Yeah, I used to not cry, and I used to be heartless like Eric, and then something broke in me, and now I cry. I think I teared up when Deku punched the muscle guy.
I died. I mean, not died. I cried like episode 1 for Deku.
Like I'll get
oh.
emotional
oh.
at those moments, but I won't cry, But I'll get
Oh, I'll-
emotional. Like I'll get tense up, and I'll get chills. Like I get chills on the same moments all
You
the
gotta
time.
take off your shirt because it's in the way. You're like,
I'll get tears in my eyes. I will wipe my eyes. I think pretty much every episode of My Hero Academia, I'm like, for
You
one
know,
reason or another.
the ending of Inception always gets me. It's not a sad or
It's
that
not
kind of
sad.
movie, but it always
What?
gets me, man, without fail.
Oh,
Yeah, you
well, when
got
he
this-
walks to his kids.
You're like, are they those
Yeah.
his kids? Is he
Oh,
dreaming?
yeah. That's a good
And then
one.
all of a sudden, tears
Yeah,
every time.
I'll never not cry at Endgame though. Eric didn't, because he's a freaking loser. That's
Well,
I'm
that's,
heartless, man. Okay, it's hard
that's-
for me to
that's
cry.
the takeaway from this whole
I'll get you all the burgers you want.
Oh,
When Happy said that to little girl.
oh my goodness. Okay, so the takeaway from this
Quick
episode is
spoilers.
that Eric is a heartless bastard. That's it.
Yes.
That's this whole point of this. This is why we talked about the show. We wanted to make that point.
Yeah.
Evidence is
We
Your
did
Lie
this
in
episode
April.
just to get Eric to watch it.
It's
Boom.
it's honestly true. That's the only reason that we did this episode, because I have been fighting to watch this anime for the longest time.
And now
And
you're happy.
I'm very hard-headed when it comes to watching anime. Just
You know what?
like certain animes.
You know what? We'll never do an episode on One Piece.
One Piece.
Oh gosh. All right. Well,
Oh,
we're gonna call
No.
it there. Please leave
No.
a like, leave a
Oh.
comment, subscribe. All right, we're out.